Welcome to Season 3 of the Bi-Weekly Show, where we watch last week's news so you don't have to. I'm Luis Suida. Let's start today's episode by discussing the Democratic candidates that are potentially running for office in 2016. Michael, are there any others? Really? Are you sure? Not one. Wait, who's... No, not... You've got to be kidding me. Hillary's the only one that actually matters. I mean, just look. We only keep the vice president around because sometimes he's a badass. But most of the time, he has to put his foot in his mouth. Do we really want that guy to have to do that on a world stage as our leader? Well, seeing as there's no one else... What is this? Emperor Obama? Hell yeah! This is what happens when the Republicans talk shit about a good president. 4 more years. 4 more years. 40 more years. Thanks. Anyway, let's see who's step forward for the Republican Party. Michael, put them up on the screen. No. Michael, there are too many. Michael, no, they're taking over. No! God damn it, Michael. Stop trying to kill me. All right. The time has come to use the random Republican generator Omaticatron 420. Blaze it. Hell no. We do not need another bush. We already have a shrubbery. And the Knights Who Say Knee already agreed to our foreign trade terms. Who's next? Hell no. Next. Come on, big money, big money. Come on, jackpot. Blaze it. Ted Cruz is a joke all by himself. Just look at his response video to the State of the Union.
The president tried to say his policies are lifting the middle class, and yet today, median incomes have stagnated for over a decade. Let me start over.
Personally, I try not to pay attention to dumbasses, but I must say that I really dig that Blair Witch Project camera work he's got going. As for my dear former Governor Rick Perry, if you ever thought that the President of the United States abuses his power, how would you feel about a guy who was actually indicted for abuse of power? As a Texan, I'd love to see him run again. We all know that his Austinite style and up yours attitude will make for entertaining television. Time for a bonus round, Michael. Holy shit! Former Arizona Governor Jan Brewer is actually a possible candidate. After the president worked so hard trying to pass immigration reform, there is now a chance that this country could give power to the woman who passed SB 1070 back in 2010? Nobody knows? Okay. For those of you who don't remember that law, it basically allowed cops to pull anyone over and demand proof of citizenship if they thought you were an illegal immigrant, if they had any reasonable assumption. Because, as we know, in the American Southwest, if you're darker than sun damaged, you must be an illegal immigrant. In other news, we set our sights on the dystopian serial killer, drug-addicted, elderly home, land of insanity we call Florida. We have 2 options here, ladies and gentlemen. We can either take a look at a bill that's been proposed in the state Senate to allow concealed weapons on campus, or we can discuss very important cat news. Seeing how this is the internet, I say we cover the cat story. Oh, sweet Jesus, Michael. What the hell is that abomination? Just get it out of here. Okay, that's better. Looks like we'll be covering the concealed carry bill. SB 4005, which stands to allow concealed carry license holders over the age of 21 to carry the weapons on school grounds or on university grounds, is being proposed in the Senate. And because allowing people who deal with stress and consume alcohol and drugs in a setting where countless students succumb to mental conditions like depression sounds like a pretty great idea. if state universities had a final say on whether or not this regulation applied to their campuses, or if the law specifically gave permission solely for faculty members, it might be slightly less crazy. But as it is now, the bill needs a lot of work. This, I might add, is coming from a Texan whose state, need I remind you, uses guns the way normal people use exclamation points. Texas, where the grass is always greener if you have a gun. I know that the State of the Union has been dissected 8 ways to Sunday, but that isn't going to stop us from trying to our part to trash this guy. Speaker Boehner, being the voice of the people, bravely led the charge against the president in his evil attempt to make life better for the common man. Boehner, clad in his screw the middle class armor, courageously sat rooted in his chair, refusing to clap for all things humane and just. Did he clap when the president spoke about ending racism?
It's why we speak out against the deplorable anti-Semitism that has resurfaced in certain parts of the world. It's why we continue to reject offensive stereotypes of Muslims, the vast majority of whom share our commitment to peace. That's why we defend free speech and advocate for political prisoners and condemn the persecution of women or religious minorities or people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. We do these things not only because they are the right thing to do, but because ultimately they will make us safer.
No, he did not. Boldly scowling, the speaker continued to sit. And when the president spoke about income inequality,
nothing helps families make ends meet like higher wages. That's why this Congress still needs to pass a law that makes sure a woman is paid the same as a man for doing the same work.
Of course not. The pillar of the Republican House sits firmly opposed to such radical ideas. Why would a woman, in the same standing as a man, be paid the same amount? It's ridiculous. How about making it easier for everyday people to pay for an education, thus improving the overall intelligence of the American society as a whole?
I'm sending this Congress a bold new plan to lower the cost of community college to zero.
Speaker Boehner says, sorry, normals, you can go screw yourselves. And here I thought he needed constituents in order to hold office. His will is so strong, I bet he wouldn't even clap for lower oil prices.
And thanks to lower gas prices and higher fuel standards, the typical family this year should save about $750 at the pump.
God damn it, Boehner. I'm tired of your shit. Join me next week, where I'll continue to offer you slightly out-of-date news.